Today, I'm going to show you how to bring out natural smiles and emotions in portrait photography through editing in Lightroom. It's all about enhancing the subject's natural expression without overdoing it. So in today's video, I wanted to dive into Lightroom and show you how I use editing to enhance a portrait, to enhance a great smile. You got to be careful because it's really easy to overdo it. It's really easy to get carried away when you're editing a photo. So pay attention to my workflow, the steps that I take. I'm gonna walk you guys through. So let's dive into Lightroom and get started. Okay, so here I am in Lightroom and I've got my portrait set up and ready to go. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit the photo, okay? Do the basic settings, exposure, contrast, highlights, and all that stuff. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use masks to really bring out the smile and bring out the subject's face. Pay attention to that part. Okay, so for the white balance, I'm gonna try to put it on auto. That's a little too warm, so I'm gonna put it around 5700. Perfect. To me, that's fine. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and work on the exposure. The contrast, I'm gonna leave it as is. I'm gonna lower the highlights. Yep. I think I'll raise the shadows just a bit. I'll lower the whites and the blacks. That's usually how I work. Now what I like to do with all my portraits is raise the texture, because the texture adds a lot of details to the face, well, to the overall image, but a lot of it goes into the face. And whenever you're shooting a portrait, you really want the face to be tack sharp. Now, my portraits, I shoot them at what? F1.4. So sometimes not all of it is sharp. If I'm adding some texture, it'll help in making the image even sharper. And then what I am gonna do is lower the clarity a bit. Let's say around -21. The clarity will add this kind of like soft look to the image. Now, I will go ahead and enhance that effect even more by going down into the noise reduction and raising that up to say 50. I think I'm also gonna add a little bit of sharpening. Good, now our image is in a mix of being sharp, but not too sharp. It's kind of soft a little bit. This is how I like to do it. Okay, going back to the basic settings, I'm gonna leave the rest as is. I'm just gonna raise the vibrance a little bit. There's many different ways that you could use the tone curves, right? Some people like to use it directly like this. You know, you make your curves and all that. But what I like to do is use the regions. That's really how I like to do it. So the highlights, I'm gonna leave it as is. I think the highlights are high enough in this portrait. I think I'm gonna lower the light. Yeah, I'm gonna lower the light. I'm going to lower the darks. This adds some contrast into the image. And the shadow, I will also lower it just a bit. Yeah, if you do it before after. So far, so good. Color mixer, the hue, saturation, and luminance. Now, I'm not gonna go into too many details about what this does, but if you wanna know, in much more details, the things that I'm doing, you can watch this video here where I talk about editing in Lightroom and I go into a lot more details than I will in this video. In this video, I just wanna quickly get to the editing so I can show you how I, use masks and other techniques to bring out the smile and the subject, the face. If you've seen my editing tutorials, you already know my style. I like to switch the yellow and the green tones. I like to switch their hues a little bit. Now this will mostly affect the background, right? I will desaturate the greens quite a bit, say -40. And I'm gonna desaturate the yellows, -50. Yeah, you see what I did to the background? See, there's a lot of yellow in the background. By desaturating them, it's less distracting. And then I'm just gonna desaturate the blues a little bit. Perfect. Now let's quickly jump into luminance. In the luminance, I'm just gonna lower the yellow and the greens. Now, if you notice her teeth, for example, the yellow, it also brought down the luminance of her teeth. I'm not saying her teeth are yellow, but there are some yellow tones there. But don't worry, that's okay, because again, later in this video, I'm gonna show you how to bring back all this detail. Okay, now jumping into the color grading, I'm gonna change my hue to around, say, 174. And I'm gonna raise my saturation just a bit. Boom, this adds some teal to the shadows. Another thing that I'm going to do is add some warmth into the midtones, right? This is mostly for the skin tones. And then in the highlights, I will add, I might add some warmth in the highlights also. Now, if we go before and after, the image is a lot more warmer. Now, this is another look that I like with my portraits, right? Whenever it's a happy portrait where they're smiling, I like the photo to be warm, right? Almost like it was shot during sunset. I don't know, to me, a smile and a warm tone, a warm color in the photo really matches. I'm gonna raise the nose reduction a bit, actually, say to 70. And then I'm gonna add some vignette. I always love to add a little bit of vignette to my portraits. I never overdo it though. That's what I'm saying. Whenever you're doing something, don't overdo it. I could add a lot of vignette like this. To me, that's overdoing it. You almost never need this much vignette, right? Then I'm gonna jump down into the calibration. I usually don't use the calibration that much, but for this one, I think I'm gonna raise the shadows again to this warmer tone. You might be noticing a pattern here. And I think the primary here, I'm gonna put it down to like here. Boom. And this is it. Now we've done all the editing so far. And as you can see, the image is much warmer. It's much clearer. It's much sharper than the original. Now, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work on the eyes. We're gonna work on the face. We're gonna work on the teeth. Right now, I'm gonna show you exactly how I'm gonna bring out this smile and this portrait even more. I'm gonna bring it to life almost. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crop it actually. Yeah, I think like this. That is fine. Then I'm gonna jump into the masks. So right now the mask is gonna detect the face and all the facial features. Okay, now I detected the person. So what I am gonna do right now is I'm gonna select all the parts that I wanna work on. So for now, that's the teeth and the eyes. Perfect. Create mask. Okay, now it's created the masks. It has all the teeth, the eye and pupil, and the eye sclera. All of them are in one mask. So basically, if I change one thing here, see, it'll affect all those 3 masks at the same time. I don't want that. I want the teeth to be separated from the eyes because I want to edit those separately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the teeth right here into create new mask. Boom. Now I have 2 masks. So whatever I do to the teeth will only apply to the teeth. And whatever I do to the eyes will only apply to the eyes. Okay, let's work on those teeth. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to desaturate it a bit. Perfect. And then I'm going to raise the whites to bring some luminance into them because it's a little too dark right now. But just a little bit. See? If I were to overdo it, it would be like this. To me, that's overdoing it. Her teeth do not need to be this bright. So I'm just gonna put it around 15. Boom. Maybe even 20. Yeah. Just lightly like that. If you do it before and after, boom. And to me, that's it, right? Very, very subtle. Very subtle. Now let's move on to the eyes. What I'm gonna do with the eyes is raise the whites just a bit. Actually, that might be a little too much. Yeah, like that is fine. And then I'm gonna add some texture. This will add a lot of details to the eyes, and it'll make the eyes very sharp. So let's say around 77. As you can see, the eyes are a lot sharper if I do it before and after. But we're not done. What I'm gonna do right now is select the background. And again, if you've seen my editing tutorials, you probably already know where this is going. So I'm gonna darken the background. Okay, so around -1, 20. Yeah, perfect. -1, 20. That seems fine. Perfect. Now I'm gonna create a radial mask just around her face. I'm gonna feather it a bunch, and then I'm gonna raise the luminance of that. Perfect. Raise the whites. Perfect. Now I'm gonna duplicate and invert that same mask, and then do the exact opposite. I'm gonna darken it. Perfect. I might even put down the blacks a little bit. Yep. So if I do it before, after, you can see that by darkening everything around the face, it makes the face stand out. So let's look at it before the masks and after the masks. Yeah. So this is how I use editing to bring a portrait to life, right? To make a stunning smile stand out. I could have easily, over edited it and, overdone it. To me, this isn't over edited. This is just fine. This is perfect for what the portrait needs. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, I took this photo during one of my street photography sessions. This video focused on the editing part, but if you want to know the gear that I use to capture stunning portraits just like this one, then you can watch this video right here. And you can click here also to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any other new videos. But thank you for watching this video. Stay creative, keep creating, God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one.